Today, 6:30, and as I promised, I'm live here on Facebook. Excited. um, so first, I'd like to give thanks to New Massage Association for their initiative to do these live shows and webinars as a service to the public, to share knowledge, and thank you. Today I'm going to speak about history of massage, um, techniques, different techniques, brief review about Chinese medicine, and some of the impacts of the techniques. What is massage? What is disease and illnesses? What is healing? What is the role of the therapist? And what is the role of the client? So I'll start with the history of massage. And so we know that massage exists for quite long time. People say between 5,000 to 7,000 years in the history that we know of, in different places in the world. At first, so the first evidence that we can say that massage was already exist is about 2700 BC in China, and about 1400 years later it was combined to complete traditional Chinese medicine. That time it was called Anma. It is spelled ANMA, Ama. In Japanese, I said Chinese and then I said Japanese. So at first it was developed in China, and then other treatments such as Tuina, Shiatsu, and Thai massage were developed from Anma. And as far as I can tell, because I do Anma, I can see the origins of any modern technique and method is in Anma. So I would say Anma is the mother of all massage techniques that we know of. Then we have evidence in Egypt about 2,500 years ago that there are paintings of people receiving massage in their feet, probably what we know today as reflexology. And we know that Seleucus, Hippocrates, Galen were mentioning massage in their writings. I won't go further into that. I think that's enough. Swedish massage. Swedish massage. It was developed around the 18th century by a Swedish physician named Per Henrik Ling, which was he was a professor for gymnastics and expert in fencing. Very interesting. And he developed techniques to help athletes perform better. And they say he traveled to China, where he studied some martial arts and Tuina techniques. And when he developed what we know today as the Swedish massage, he assimilated many techniques from Tuina into other techniques he had developed himself. Then we can say this is the first fusion and combined massage in the world. When he was developing the Swedish massage, it was much richer than we know it today. It had stretching, rocking, squeezing, pressing, passive movements, meaning articulations, tapping, kneading, frictions. So all those were in Swedish massage. However, later on, it was mixed with some techniques from the Netherlands that for massage. Excuse me. And that's the form of Swedish massage as we know it today. Now let's go back to the East. So we can say if we want to put a timeline to evolution of massage in the East, then we have Anma from about 7,000 to 5,000 years ago. Then about 1,400 years ago, Tuina was developed from Anma because it suited the Chinese better than Anma. It was more concentrated into specific conditions, and it was much less of holistic perception. It was more straight to the point to deal with symptoms and to ease with pain and of course other symptoms. Then we know that Thai massage, we have evidence it was existed around 2,500 to 300 to 3,000 years ago, and it was developed. It got to Thailand through India, which there probably was affected by Anma. And then we go to Shiatsu, which was actually developed in early 20th century. And I want to talk a little bit about the differences between those methods. So let's take Shiatsu. It is a meridian. Shiatsu, as we know it today, meaning the Shiatsu that Matsunaga developed in the 60s, it is known as meridian massage. However, at first, it was only some kind of evolution from Anma, and basically Anma was simplified. Instead of working on meridians and understanding the whole functionality of meridians and the whole body, these two masters were in charge of developing some more common treatment. So they simplified the work by eliminating the work on meridians and using only pressure points. And which those pressure points affect different symptoms, functions of the body. Let's say we have gallbladder 21, which is right here in the top of the shoulder. This point is connected to shoulder problems, neck, and it pushes energy downwards. There are other points like over, where is it? Over here, large intestine 4, which is connected to the frontal area of the head. So if you press that point, it releases some kind of headaches, let's say. And Shiatsu today is, we can say it is based on pressing. Either it will be pressing by thumb, by palm, by elbow, by knee. It is very simple technique, pressing. Go in, go out, that's it. Very simple. Then I'll go to Thai massage. The most common technique in Thai massage is stretching. So what happened in stretching? In stretching, we have muscles and tendons and ligaments that, because of certain conditions, they got shorter and they stay like this. So when we stretch the muscle, we bring it back to its own natural place, therefore relieving pains, aches, and allowing energy to flow better through the muscles and ligaments, therefore also in the joints. So it helps in many ways. However, both in Shiatsu and Thai massage, the main technique is not the only one. It is only the main technique. In Thai massage, we know that there are pressing as well as stretching. In Shiatsu, we know that there are stretching as well as pressing. In Tuina, we have a lot of pressing, a lot of kneading, which is quite similar. A kneading technique is quite similar to deep tissue technique, and it gives deeper release to the muscles, to the ligaments. And if you work on energetic points, then you also influence them. I will go to what are the energetic points, what are meridians later in my webinar. I searched a little bit about Lomi Lomi massage, and I learned to know it came to Hawaii through India about 5,000 years ago, which is very interesting because it is not originated in Hawaii. It comes from elsewhere, from Hindu. Then it is very, very interesting fact to know. I don't know much about Lomi Lomi, so I can't elaborate on that. Huh. All right. So that was a quick review about the history of massage in the world, about major and main methods and techniques that are today. Yes, I forgot reflexology. I did not mention other techniques. However, I think those are the main methods. Now, I want to speak a little. I mentioned some techniques. Then I will elaborate about that. I want to elaborate about what's the impact of each technique we use. So, as I said, stretching, when the muscles are getting too short, we are lengthening them back to their natural position. Rocking, when we shake the client in a rhythmic pace, and so it actually relaxes the body and it changes the frequencies in the body. In if I mentioned frequencies, then everything around us, and everything around us is having some sort of a frequency. Some are moving very fast, some have very slow frequency, like objects, like table, chair, houses, etc. Living things have faster frequencies. And when we do rocking, then we can change the frequency that the body works on. Therefore, we can usually it lowers down. Rocking, it's quite sedating, relaxing technique. Rubbing, we create heat in a certain point. When there is a heated place in the body, a lot of energy goes there, meaning we can open, if we have a place which is stagnated and we rub it, then a lot of energy goes that place, so it allows to open the stagnation. However, we can do the rubbing to heat a place, not in the area of the stagnation, but in the area that is suffering from lack of energy. So therefore, a lot of energy will go to that area and balance will happen, because if some area is lacking energy, then there is another area that have too much energy. In between those areas, we have a stagnation. So the idea is to create balance through heating. As you know, heating and enhancing energy flow. Squeezing, kneading friction, and yeah, that's it. They open stagnations in the local level, in the muscle, ligaments, and tendons level. Stroking. It marks the body which direction to flow energy, and which is very important because in our life we sometimes tend to forget what's the natural course and direction of the energy. We, as the masters of the body is only a vessel that carries us, it's not us. Like we say, this is my hand, this is my head. So then we have to ask, who is this me we are talking about? In short, that me is an energetical being that decided to come into a physical body and form. And that body is tending sometimes to forget what's the right direction of energy. Then we have tapping. Tapping is also about changing the frequency. It can relax or stimulate areas, and this is depends on the strength and how fast you go by tapping. You can go very soft and very slow, that will relax. You can tap very fast, that will stimulate. You can tap deeper, that will stimulate as well. Uh, Tapping allows us to pay attention, allow us as receivers to pay attention to multiple areas in the body, because we can tap in 2, 3, 4, 5 places in the same time. We can move from one place to another. Those movements create different awareness and in the body, and that awareness is crucial for healing. I will elaborate about that even later. Let's go to Japanese traditional what's the word? Japanese traditional never mind. So the Chinese medicine is based on the Taoism. And the principles of Taoism, first of all, is simplicity. Things are what they are, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. As we know, when rain is going down from the sky, it's only water just going down. There's a whole process leading to that, but eventually it's just water going out, falling down from the sky. The earth is just there. Air, we breathe it. It's there. Everything is simple in the Taoism. And the Taoism asks some questions. about life and healing. So they ask, who am I? And they answer, I was born, and the process of life then defines who I will be, what I will do. They ask, what is the meaning of life? And they answer, to suffer and to bless. Because suffer motivates us to make a change, which is also crucial to a change is crucial to healing. So when we suffer from something, when we have a pain, when we have an illness, disease, or whatever, then we should bless for that suffering, because without that suffering, we wouldn't be able to create ourselves a better life, a healthier life. So thank you for suffering, huh? How to achieve health? And they answer, through peace and serenity and harmony. When we are in peace with ourselves, then our body, our mind, our heart, they are all aligned together. However, when we are not in peace with ourselves, well, when something distracts us, then we do not have harmony. And when we do not have harmony, we do not have health. And they also asked, what's the purpose of life? Where am I going to? And they answer, to the death, of course, because death is the only sure thing in life. Everything else, the other only sure thing is in life. I will ask it differently. The other certain thing in life is that nothing is certain but death. And death is where we all go, where everything goes. Death, everything dies at its end. Everything. Nothing lasts forever. Metals, wood, water, they change they become not water, and they become humid, so steam, and so they are not water anymore. That's the death of water. And everything dies. Everything dies. Rocks disintegrated, yeah. And trees, they rot. Animals die. Humans die. Everything die. So dying is where we all go to, and it's inevitable. So whoever is fearing of death, tough luck. It will happen eventually. Now, the Tao also have a few components that are important to understand Chinese medicine. So one of the first component is the chaos, which means everything and nothing at the same time. It's like saying the vacuum is full. It is holding everything together. The chaos, it's like it's complex to understand it, that everything and nothing exist right next to each other in the same breathing. Everything dies and reborn at the same time. Everything happens in the same time. Time is it's a fiction. There is no time. It's only in our perception, and it's only because we have memory. If we didn't have any memory, we wouldn't have any idea about time. The other component, the second one, is the two extremities and the big chasm. Meaning, when we go to one extremity, we have to go to the other extremity to find the balance between those extremities. And when we do find that balance, that's when we are healthy. Then the next component is five elements of the nature, and they talk about earth, water, fire, earth, and wood. Although Chinese medicine have different elements than what I just named, in the Taoism they talk about those five: earth, water, fire, air, and wood. And basically everything that happens in nature happens in can happen in our body. Now, the next component is what are the people are made of, and it means we are body and soul together, which are not separated. And from that, we have the evolution of meridians by pairs, body and mind. Meridians have both physical function and emotional function. Next component is self-healing in the way of the nature and through nature itself. And meaning eating unprocessed food, exercising, being in nature, being close to nature will gain us health. So that's what they mean when they say in the way of the nature and through the nature. And after healing ourselves, we can heal others. First humans and then animals. I need to go a little bit to the side again. Sun is coming right on top of me. Okay, better. And then we go to Chinese medicine. So at first, we did not have Chinese medicine as we know it today, that it has different components such as massage, acupuncture, moxibation, and blood. I don't know what's the word. Taking out blood from the body. So I will say a few words about what evolved, what technique evolved in different areas of China. So they say that in the east of China, they had nutrition that was really rich with salts. And because of that, their blood became very sticky. So, and it couldn't flow very good. So what they did, they injured the the end of the fingers or the toes to take blood out. And when we take blood out from the body produces new blood. And when that happens, it is not as sticky as the old blood we have. So that method was developed and evolved in the East. In the West, they had quite rather comfortable climate, a lot of wood, and diversity of food. The people there were strong, and therefore the illnesses are internal. And the best way to deal with the internal illnesses is through herbs. They call it poisonous herbs. However, we know that everything is poison for us. Food, water, we know that we can have water poison. So everything in the right amount, it's not a poison, it's a medicine. And when you use um, different herbs, which each herb have their own way to impact the body, then you can treat different symptoms. In the north of China, they had a very cold climate, and they were forced to create heat in order to defrost themselves, which I can totally understand. I am right now in the Netherlands, and people here say, "Oh, it's quite warm already," and I'm freezing. And wherever I can, I touch something warm to to enhance blood flow in the extremities in the body. And when my fingers get warm, I feel that my whole body gets warm. Therefore, when you heat an area with moxibation, you create uh, energy energy flow. In the south, they had their diseases were muscle cramps and numbness. So, and they discovered that when you needle certain points in the body, the cramps release and numbness is fading. So you can feel your body again. Now, so acupuncture was developed in the south, and also acupuncture affects nerves, and through that it affects releasing muscles. In the center of China, life were also very comfortable, very rich. So, and the diseases they had there were general paralysis, fever, shivering, which the best way to deal with those symptoms is through breathing techniques, through exercises, and through massaging the skin and the muscles. So massage was developed and evolved in center of China. Later on, and that happened around 7,000 years ago to 5,000 years ago, which in each area, those healing techniques were evolving, and only about 5,000 years ago, all that knowledge was collected and gathered into one piece, which we know of today as Chinese medicine. I mentioned meridians before, so I would like to elaborate just a little bit about what they are, how do they work, and what's the best way to deal with them. So meridians are lines of energy. Everything have those lines. Animals, plants, objects. Of course, the energy in those lines in objects moves much slower than it moves in vegetation, and in living things it moves faster. in in our body there are 6 pairs plus another pair of meridians, that those pairs works firstly together and then they work together with all other pairs. Basically, meridian is resonating in a different way, in a different frequency. You can there is an analogy I use a lot to understand how it works, and it's with flute. We have a flute, we have a pipe, which we blow air in the pipe. The pipe have holes in it, and when we blow in the pipe, when all the holes are open, we have a different frequency, a different note. When we close one hole, we have a different note, meaning a different frequency. If we close all holes, we have another note. And that's how meridians work. They resonate in certain frequency, and the holes in the flute are equivalent to the pressure points. When we press a point along a meridian, we impact its frequency, we impact its resonance. And when we do that, we change the unhealthy resonating of that meridian, and then we bring it into a better balance. So another way to understand what meridians and stagnations are is flexible hose. When we attach the hose to the tap, we open the tap, water starts flowing in the hose. If everything goes right, the water goes out from the other end. If that's the case, we have a healthy hose. But if we press on the hose in a certain point, then pressure in between the tap to the place we press on that hose is bigger than the pressure from that point we press on to the end of the hose. So, and that point is the stagnation point. That point is where the stagnation is. And in general, we want the energy in meridians to flow without any interruptions, to be free and not stagnated. Now, every meridian is connected to internal organs, which in their turn are connected to external organs. So just few examples to understand that concept. So the meridians of the kidneys is connected to the kidneys, of course. It is and this is the internal organ, and it is connected to the ears, which are the external organs that connected to the kidneys. I'm sorry, sun is in my eyes again. I must move again. Okay, good. Liver is the internal organ, which of course the meridian connected to the liver have the same name. The liver is connected, they say it's connected to anger. However, I think anger is not an emotion. Anger is an outcome of an emotion, and the emotion that lies beneath anger is frustration. And when we have frustration, then we have one of either two results. It would be either anger or depression. So when we have imbalance in the liver meridian and the liver organ, people may suffer from depression or anger. It depends. Heart is connected with joy. However, being too much joyful can create pathologies for itself, meaning extended heart rate. The heart is going too fast, and this is because we are having too much joy. So don't be happy all the time. It's good to be happy, but not all the time. We need other emotions. We need to be not to be stuck in one emotion. Spleen is connected with worries. The physical function of spleen is transformation and transportation. So when we tend to think about one thing a lot more than everything else, we make we make it harder for the body to transport and transform things, to transport nutrition from one place to another, or to transformate one thing into another thing. meaning food into waste. And we have lungs that are connected to sorrow and grief. The interesting fact that lungs are connected, the external organ of the lungs is the rectum. Because it's actually quite logic, because lungs are connecting us with the outside, and large intestine helps us eliminate what we don't need. And having too much grief, it's something we don't need. So the connection is there when releasing the things we don't need to have in our body. And it goes on and on. We have 12 meridians. I mentioned kidneys, liver, heart, spleen, lungs. There is also gallbladder, bladder. Can't remember all of them right now, but basically all the small intestine, large intestine, and we have meridian, which is called triple heater or triple warmer. This meridian is unique by itself because it is not connected to an organ, and its functions, it's more to distribute energy in the body. And then we have two more special meridians, or unique meridians, which are governing vessel and conception vessel. Those meridians are unique because all other meridians meet those two in certain points, and they and together all these 14 meridians create the energetic structure of the body. And the energetic, and these are the veins where the energy flows. Now that's about that was about meridians. I would want to go to what I would say the most interesting part of this webinar. What is illness? What is massage? What is the role of the therapist and the role of the receiver, the client? So I'll start with what is illness. I haven't seen illness walking down the street. I am quite sure neither did you. So how come we have illnesses? Illnesses are the outcome of emotional patterns, of beliefs we have in ourselves, such as I'm not good enough. That's a belief. If I'm not good enough, then I can't do things. If I can't do things, then I am not healthy. It's a pattern. Once we have this pattern, it is not we are not in a healthy place. I once had a talk with a friend, and at the end of that talk, we got to the conclusion that life starts when we get out from our comfort zone. Because as long as we are in our comfort zone, we behave on automatic. We don't think about the things we do. However, when we go out from our comfort zone and meet new things, we are forced to act, behave, and think in a different way than we were used to do up until that moment. So, also, diseases and illnesses can happen because of suppressed emotions or suppressed actions we wanted to do. And if we keep suppressing them, it has its effect on the body. Uh, Suppressing anger, all right, so I won't shout, fine, I won't express anger or frustration. And if I don't do that, I create a lot of tension in my system, in my body. That tension, in its turn, create a variety of symptoms and syndromes, which we call illnesses. The illness is the tale, the story of the body to what's wrong. The pain is the story of what's wrong. It's like signing us, like a traffic light that tells us, look, look here, look here, look there, and pay attention to me. Something is wrong with me. Please pay attention. So the body has its way to catch our attention, and we call this way as aches, pains, illnesses. So, and when we don't pay attention to those symptoms and we ignore our body, then we increase the symptoms of the body. And so once we increase, so we don't want to go there. Now, I talked about illnesses, what they are. I hope you understand. Now I will go to what is healing. So healing consists of movement and change. And it's crucial to have those two components. Why? Because we can have movements without change, like dog chasing their own tail. We are always, when we reach, we are always behaving or thinking in the same way we used to do up until that moment. It's like trying to navigate in city when in each turn we find we always go to the right or to the left. So let's say we go to the left. So I drive, I go to a junction, I turn left. I go to another junction, I turn left again. I reach another junction, I turn left again, and then probably by that moment, I will end up in the same place I started. So that's movement. Yes, I moved, but I did not made any change. And so we must have also a change if we want to have healing. There are many versions to what Einstein said, that if we keep doing the same things over and over again, how can we expect different results? So once we change things, we create and create movement with that change, we are in a better health place than we were before. Once that happens, we are on the path to healing. Also, healing happens when we change our perspective about what happened in our life, in our childhood, because we cannot change the past. The past is done, dead, and we cannot go there. We cannot go back there and change the events. The events had happened, and we can do nothing about it. But we can change our perspective about those events. We can understand that when we were children and let's say our parents told us we wanted to sing, let's say, and one of our parents had a terrible headache, and our voice at that moment just caused them to snap at us and tell us, you have terrible voice. So we stopped singing. And since that moment, we believed that we have terrible voice, even if it's not true at all. But we do not sing from that moment onwards. However, if we change our perspective and we understand that at that moment, it is not that our parent told us, hey, you really have an ugly voice. No, they didn't tell that. But in their way, they just said, come on, please shut up. I'm trying to rest here. So when we understand what they say, and change our perspective about that, then we are on a healing process. And then we just need to practice that understanding every time we want to sing, because the pattern is very strong. We want, for years we had practiced not singing, and then we need to start practicing singing, and then but so at first we will start practicing, and we will think, oh, my voice is not so beautiful. But then if we remind ourselves that it's not our voice that it's not beautiful, it's only what someone once told me, then we can continue singing. And then eventually, at the end of this process, we will get to a point that of we won't hesitate to sing, because we understand it's not our voice is ugly. It was something completely different. Um, Now that we have talked about what is illness, what is healing, and when it happens, I will say a few words about what is massage and the role of therapist and receiver. So first, I want to say we use the word therapist, but what does it mean? So the word therapist comes from Greek, which means helping a person in their own way. And that's what we do. We help people in their own way and to their capability. If we are sensitive enough, we cannot harm them. We cannot press more than it is necessary. Sometimes the pressure, the stretching, seems to be too much. However, if we are sensitive and we trust our intuition, then it is not too much. It is the exact amount that person needed. Although they would have extreme reaction. Yes, of course, the change is big. When the change is big, you have extreme reaction. I don't care. Fine, so you have reaction. The body needs to adjust itself to a new situation and fast. And when that happens, we have a reaction. And that reaction is actually pretty good. It's part of a healing process. So, as a therapist, we want to help our clients, our receivers, in their way, in their own way. And there isn't only one way. All ways are good. And it depends, of course, on the capability of each person to what they can receive. Some can receive very light and on the surface touch, and that would be enough for them. That would create a change. Some can receive very deep, very harsh massage, and that's what they need. Of course, if they are capable to receive this amount of pressure or another, it means something. I won't get into what it means. It's only that is a concept for I don't know, 20 hours of lecturing. So, but it does mean something. If someone is like oversensitive, it means something. It means they are oversensitive, yes, in the body, but it's not only the body, because the body is only reflecting what is happening inside. So that's about the therapist. About massage, what is it? To my opinion, it's a lesson in paying attention to the body and what's going on with it. Sometimes we give massage to people and they tell us, "Oh, I did not know I have pains in that area." Yes, I know. That's why you receive the massage, to remember that those areas have pain. And once you remember those area has pain, you can understand, you can go further and investigate what caused this pain. Because a lot of people just tend to ignore the pain and keep on with their lives. But when we do that on a physical level, it becomes very stiff and very hard, and we cannot, we just don't feel it anymore because there is no flow over there. The nerves are not functioning well, so we cannot feel the painful area. It's just being painful for so long, and it is so stagnated, so we don't feel it anymore. So first, I think it's a lesson in paying attention to our body, and when we do that, we can move onwards to the next level and investigate what caused that that pain. Now, on a more superficial level, if I mentioned the stagnations before, then what do we do? As a massage therapist, what do we do there? We are plumbers. Plumbers of muscles, plumbers of ligaments, plumbers of fluid flow. We are plumbers for the body. And that's it. That's what we do. We allow people to pay attention, and we open the stagnations in their body. And when we do that, it allows people to go into a deeper, more thorough process of healing. And the healing happens when, I just said before, when we change our perspective, when we change our way, when we change our patterns. So I hope you, and that's it. That's I hope you will help a lot of people opening the stagnations in their body, help them be aware of what's going on with their body, and as a massage therapist, of course, and allow them to go through the healing process that that the receivers need so much. And that's it. I have talked about everything I wanted to talk today. If there is any question, let me just take a look. Julian, could you help me with that? Mm. Julian, what did you ask there about you're interested in this concept of awareness? A lab concept of awareness. I don't understand what you're talking about. Yes, but not only the body, also the mind and the emotional level. Um, so sometimes I mentioned that sometimes we give massage to someone and they respond, oh, I didn't know that it hurts so much. So it, as a massage therapist, we bring to awareness, we bring to their awareness that there is a stagnation that they ignored. And when we bring the awareness to those areas, they cannot ignore them anymore. They might not change their ways, and they might come back to you week after week after week. And for that, I have to say, when I hear massage therapists say, I have this client who is coming back to me for 5 years now, I say, well, you are an excellent massage therapist, but to my opinion, you're an excellent masseur or masseuse, but to my opinion, you're a shitty therapist because you do not push the receiver, the client, into the healing that they need to do. you do not push them to make a change. You just open the stagnations over and over and over and over again. So there is just another pattern that is being created. Yes, bringing to awareness that there are stagnations, that's fine, but it's not enough. We need, if we are considering ourselves as therapists, I think we need to push our clients so they would change their patterns, so they would see them in a way that they cannot ignore it anymore. And to my opinion, that's our job, to push them to the point they cannot ignore the pattern. Is that answer your question in a way, Julian? Julian, did I answer your question in a way? Good. Then talking to myself for an hour and a quarter is quite enough. I want to thank everyone who had watched. I want to thank the team of New Massage Association for thinking and creating this initiative in order to connect us together, in order to share information. And I wish everyone best of healing. Thank you very much. Bye bye.